Okay, so here we go with episode 4.
お祓いですか？だったらお父さんに。
あ、いや、そこまで大げさにしなくていい。気休めでいいのだ。
That's why I came here instead of the Ganda shrine.
というわけで、例のあれを持ってこい。
例のあれと言いますと、サミダレですか？
違う。お祓いに用途は必要ないだろう。お祓いと言ったらあれに決まっている。正式な名称はわからんが、棒に白い紙がふさふさとついていて、神主がわさわさと振るやつだ。
今のオカリンの説明、ゆとりっぽいね。
Well, I'd just like to hear that from Mayuri.
あ、おほぬさですね。でも、お父さん貸してくれるかな。ちょっと聞いてきます。
Lukako makes a quick bow, then runs off toward his house, which is on the shrine grounds. Meanwhile, Mayuri takes her pocket watch out of her bag to check the time. It's a very old watch, not the sort you'd expect a high school girl to carry. Its name is Pocketing. Obviously that's the name Mayuri gave it, not the brand name or anything. Ever since elementary school, Mayuri has carried Pockety with her everywhere. It's her most important treasure.
じゃあ、マユシーはこれからバイトだから、もう行くね。
そうか、頑張ってこい。バイトが終わったら直接帰るのか？
Mayuri lives in Ikebukuro. She comes to Akiba by train just about every day. It should be obvious since we're childhood friends and all, but I live in Ikebukuro too. Well, I've been staying at the lab since summer break began.
というわけで、また明日ね。
I call up to Mayuri to stop before she trots off.
マユリ、お前はあの時ラジカンで男の悲鳴を聞いたよな。
悲鳴？
Mayuri blinks several times and puts her finger to her temple as if in thought. Then she gives her usual smile.
それっていつのこと？
今日の昼だ。
聞いてないかな。
そうか。わかった。だったらいい。
変なオカリ。じゃあね、トゥットゥルー。
Mayuri leaves, this time for good, though she pauses to wave at least a half dozen times before disappearing beyond the archway.
岡部さん、お待たせしました。
Lukako returns shortly after Mayuri leaves. In his hands is the white zigzaggy thing I asked for.
借りることができました。よかったです。あれ？まゆりちゃんは帰ったんですか？
マユリはどうでもいいから、今すぐお祓いを始めるのだ、ルカコが。
はい、僕でいいんでしょうか。そもそも何に対するお祓いを？
Lukako is flustered. Is he really up to this? I'm beginning to doubt. I should have known better. The instant doubt touches my heart. A terrible chill shoots up my spine.
俺に取り付いた悪霊が。
I grab my violently shaking wrist.
静まれ、悪霊よ。 急げルカコ。このままでは俺は乗っ取られる。
そんな岡部さん、しっかりしてください。
俺は岡部さんではない。
すいません京馬さん。でも僕どうしたら。
お払いを急げ。この前教えた通りにやればいい。
はい。
With serious look on his face, Lukako grabs the Umusa with both hands as if it were a sword. His stance is impressive. I've taught him well.
えっと
His face is red, and he can barely talk. It looks like he wants to say something, but is hesitating. Panicking because he feels awkward. Amateur.
頼む。悪霊を俺の中から追い出してくれ。俺はお前を殺したくない。
Lukako starts crying. Looks like he's really worried. Reason tell me he's a guy, but his lovely appearance makes me feel guilty, like I made a frail girl cry. Despite the tears welling up in his eyes, looks like Lukako's managed to work up his resolve.
悪霊よ。
He raised the Musa up high, shaking it left and right.
岡部じゃなくて京馬さんから出て行ってください。
いいぞ。そのまま俺の腕にふさふさを当てろ。
The tip of the Musa touches my upper arm. In an anime, this would be the cue for some dramatic shockwave to occur, but nothing happens like that. The only sound is the chirping from the cicadas.
どうですか。
I take a deep breath. The trembling in my arm has stopped.
大丈夫だ。悪霊は去ったようだ。よくやったな、ルカコ。
Lukako sighs in relief and blushes.
お役に立ててよかったです。
His shy smile really does make him look like a girl. After I get back to the lab, I take the broken TV down to the Braun tube workshop for repairs. Dauro and Mayuri have already gone home. I have to carry the TV down the narrow staircase by myself. It was brutal. Back-breaking work, but I managed. I push the workshop door open with my hips and head inside. The room is dimly lit by the setting sun, but the gloom is offset by the glare from a gigantic CRT in the center of the room. A 42-inch CRT television. It doesn't seem like something you would get in modern Japan. With LCD TVs becoming the new standard, I seriously doubt anyone would want a bulky old CRT.
おう、どうした岡部。
Sitting in front of the huge CRT is an equally huge man, reading a sports newspaper. He's the workshop's manager, actually the owner of this whole building. Yuko. I call him Mr. Braun. It's a fitting name for someone who loves Braun tubes.
どうしたもこうしたもないですよ。あなたからもらったテレビが壊れた。
おめえ、
Mine looks like this is a little basic
本当
color.
に乱暴に扱いやがったな。
I barely managed to set the heavy TV on the counter.
愛が足りねえんだよ、愛が。
I didn't want any of the other Jiro froggies, but I did want Fatty. But now that I think about it, it wasn't actually that cute. Actually, it was kind of weird looking. I wonder why I wanted one so bad. Hey, I just realized that Fatty kind of looks like Daruku. Love, you gotta treat him with love. Muscle-bound bald guy talking about love. It sends shivers down my spine.
修理をお願いしたい。最優先だ。
相変わらず変な話し方だな、おめえって。
Mr. Braun begins investigating the cause of the problem. With nothing better to do, I look around the store. I didn't know if it was the dust hanging in the air. Something feels stagnant about this place. There are CRT screens everywhere. The haphazard layout makes them seem like junk, but they're all functional according to Mr. Braun. He's got a full range of both old and new. Some of them are probably older than me. There are even some flat screen and HD CRTs that came out just before LCDs took the market.
今日は遅くまでやっているんですね。普通だったら夜7時には店じまいでしょ。
The crowds inoculate thin quickly at night. All the major electronics close around 8 or 9 o'clock. And then, as the liveliness of the day was simply a lie, the town goes silent.
今日はこれから客が来るんだな。
客？例の小動物ですか？
おめえな、俺の愛しい娘を小動物呼ばわりするんじゃねえ。
The manager glares at me and takes a photo from his wallet. It's a picture of a young girl shyly making a peace sign at the camera. One might assume that muscle-bound man was some kind of pervert, but the girl is actually his daughter. He's about 12 years old now, I think. His love for her is second to only his love for CRTs. Or was it the other way around? I see her in the store every now and again. What was her name again?
ないよ、したらぶっ殺すからな。
That's it. A rare name that means to braid. She pops up at the store now and again, so we've interacted with her before. And by we, I mean my Yuri, since she's the only one Naya to on with. Naya always hides when she sees me or Dara. I must admit, I'm impressed she can sense my aura of madness at such an early age. Mr. Braun makes a grandiose kissing gesture at his daughter's photo. Once again, shivers down my spine.
しかし、娘以外でこの工房に客が来ることがあるんですか？
I've been renting the second floor for about 6 months, but I don't recall ever seeing a customer. I'd be surprised if this place were actually making any money.
客っつうか、なんつうか。
He puts away the photo and goes back to checking the TV, leaving me with that vague answer.
ああ、これは多分基盤のハンダ浮きだな。直せろぜ。
そうですか。ではよろしく。
待ってろ。見積書作ってやる。
金を取るのか？
当たり前だろ。払わねえつもりだったのか。
このテレビはあなたからもらったものだぞ。
だからなんだよ。アフターサービスまでタダでやってやるとは言ってねえぜ。
おのれ。寿命間近のオンボロを押し付けておいて、そういう草とは。
うるせえな。だったら人ってやってもいいんだぞ。家電リサイクル法で回収費ももらうけどな。
横暴だぞ。人類史の未来を変えるやもしれぬ男からたかろうとは。
ああ、それは誰のことだ？
俺のことに決まっているでしょう。
歯磨いて寝ろよガキ。そもそも2階をただ同然で貸してやってるこの俺にそういうこと言うとはいい度胸だな。
修理代は弾むミスター・ブラウン。
Just then, I hear the door open. I look up to see that a girl has entered the store. She's wearing a vintage jacket and tight shorts that highlight her long limbs and athletic figure. I find myself particularly impressed by her well-defined thighs.
おはー。
Suddenly, time stops. Feels like someone activated the world.
あれ
The girl is still standing there with her arm in the air. Her smile gradually fades in confusion. What kind of reaction was she hoping for? Seriously? Anyway, is she the person Mr. Braun was expecting? Maybe she's someone he knows personally? Another daughter? Or dare I say, his girlfriend? She finally drops her pose and clears her throat.
さっき電話したあまねです。
And just like that, time starts moving again.
ああ、バイトの面接したいとこな。俺が店長の天王寺だ。
バイトの面接だと？こんな若い女性が？この新規臭くておしゃれ感ゼロで繁盛もしておらずむさいおっさんが店長のブラウン管工房にバイト希望だというのか？
おめえ、来月から2階の家賃1000円増しな。
俺は事実を言ったまでですよ。もっとも部外者が口を出す問題ではないが、しかしブラウン管工房がバイトを募集していたとはな。この暇さではその必要性を全く感じないのだが。
ああ、それは私が電話で無理って頼んだんです。
The girl looks a little embarrassed.
最初は断られたんだけどさ、店長さんにどうしてもお願いしますって。
今時珍しい若者がいたもんだよな。ま、そこの椅子に座んな、お嬢ちゃん。
失礼します。
Looks like they're going to have a formal interview. I was going to leave, but since Mr. Braun has kicked me out, I'll stick around a bit longer. The girl's expression is stiff. I guess she's nervous. It's because of a part-time job interview? In contrast to how she said it wouldn't take no for an answer, she doesn't seem so enthusiastic.
で、名前は何だって？
あまねすずはです。
年は
18。
Same as me.
学生？
ううん。
She shakes her head.
なんでうちで働きたいんだ？
ブラウン管が好きだから。
採用、明日から来い。
それでいいのか？というかこれはコントか？もしかして仕込みか？
ありがとう、店長さん。
Finally, Amane Suzuha seems to relax. Then she looks at me.
ところでさ、君は誰？
俺のな。聞きたいというのか？いや、やめておけ。それを知ることでお前にも最悪が降りかかるかもしれん。これまでも多くの人が俺の名を知ったことで機関に狙われた。アメリカのサラ、イタリアのクラウディア、フランスのシモン。これ以上誰かを危険な目に遭わせるわけに。
おい、アホな妄想してんじゃねえよ。
He just doesn't understand my pain.
このバカ男は2階に間借りしてる岡部倫太郎ってんだ。
岡部ではない。俺は法院。
うっせえ。家賃さらに1000円上乗せするぞ。
岡部倫太郎だ。 だ。
The girl stands up, places her hand on my shoulder, and looks at me with a serious expression.
君を狙ってるその期間ってのが何なのかは分かんないけど、もし困ってんなら私に相談して。岡部倫太郎、そういうの慣れてるからさ。
は？
Stuff. Like what?
場合によっては手段を選ばず痛めつけてやることも可能だし。
ミスター・ブラウン、彼女は採用しない方がいいと思う。
ああ、物騒だな。騒ぎ起こしたらクビにするからな。そもそもその期間なんたらは岡部の創作だから本気にすんな。
創作？
せいぜいそう思ってるがいいさ。
But someday, the world will kneel before me. Mwahahaha. And then, Amane Suza stares straight at me again. Maybe she has a habit of looking people in the eye.
そういうのが流行ってんだ。勉強になったよ。
Trend? I don't think so.
That's it.
I was at university all morning. As I returned to Akiba, the heat is now becoming unbearable. Lukako says, "Are you really okay with yesterday's exorcism? I feel like a more traditional ceremony would have been better. I'm worried something might happen to you because my exorcism wasn't strong enough. It bothers me so much I can't sleep at night. Yes, because of that I couldn't do more than 3 practice swings with Samidara." I grabbed an iced coffee at the bakery inside Yodobashi to quench my thirst. While I'm at it, I guess I'll check my channel on my phone. I mostly frequent the occult board and the future technology board, and sometimes the physics board. I search for threads on mass disappearance phenomenon, Makase's Kurisu stabbing, but turn up nothing. So were those hallucinations after all? When I peek at the occult board, I find posts on multiple threads from someone claiming to be John Tyler. Wait, John Tyler is back? John Tyler appeared on an American BBS 10 years ago claiming to be a time traveler. He claimed to have traveled from the year 2036 in order to obtain an old computer, the IBM 5100. His claims started quite a storm among the BBS denizens. Tyler also made several accurate, if fragmentary, predictions of future events. The start of the Iraq War and the spread of the Rosenfeld-Jacob disease, for example. To prove he was from the future, he explained the principles behind his time machine and provided pictures of its operation manual. But after about 4 months, he disappeared without ever revealing his identity. At one point, his predictions gained popularity even in Japan. Yes, he certainly did get some things right. But on the other hand, he missed several others. Some of his posts contradicted each other too. That's why to this day, most people doubt his authenticity as a time traveler. So after 10 years of silence, then the same name, John Tyler, is now on a Japanese BBS. Ridiculous. It's obviously a troll. First of all, John Tyler is an American. Yet now he's posting on an ad channel in Japanese. Let's take a look at his posts. Guys, we can believe that if confusion close to this, fishing turtle is delivered by CERN with the first position click before. Contract law, John Tyler. More details of compassion. Diesel time machine subject cost. Get about 100 million and save a semi-one. Certain time machines make requirement. See, I think price things turn these their mission. The world being a dystopia. There is no war, no conflict, however. That is a false peace funded on the eradication of liberty. What does LOL mean? Why did you come to the sun? Was the aqua satellite crash you're doing? Wait, guy, at our sun, it doesn't reply. It doesn't understand action lingo. Let's keep it simple, okay? If you know what I mean. Get a true answer. I came here to change my present. In other words, your future. My mission is to destroy CERN's dystopia and restore freedom to the world. This is a wonderful time you're living in. Everyone is free. But you will lose it all in just 20 short years. It is vitally important that you understand what the future has in store. What is a trick code? Well, I get one if you tell me what it is. You said only CERN has time machines. You have a time machine. That must mean you're working for CERN. Therefore, your goal can't be to destroy CERN's dystopia. You're a fraud. What's a dystopia? How can CERN take over the world in just 20 years? Look at the Middle East. You've been reading too much manga if you think you can get those guys to just stop playing each other. We're here to change the future. You're trying to play God. If you're promising the world peace, then I, for one, look one who's CERN overlords. My time machine is a prototype reverse engineered from still on CERN technology. Compared to their time machine, its capabilities are quite limited. In 2036, the world is ruled by a single all-powerful governing body. They administrate every aspect of our lives, deciding what we will eat, where we will live, and whom we will marry. There is no privacy and no choice. Anybody who dares oppose them is eliminated. There are no trials. In movies and stuff, small changes to the past cause huge changes to the future. You've already changed the present by coming here. What happens if you make unexpected changes to the future? Implying CERN rules the world. Even though what CERN is, lol. OP is a troll. So if we find his dad and kill him, then this time traveler will never be born, and we won't have to listen to this bullshit, alright? I want to know if you can meet your past self. And you have self-cess? Jesus. You're talking about the so-called grandfather paradox that has been debunked. This rolled line has a divergence of 0.571042.4% compared to the world line I came from. Tell my father would alter divergence, creating a world line where my father is dead. However, we would not erase this world line. It would go on existing. CERN is a particle physics research institution that hasn't changed in 2036. It is possible to meet your past self. The prevailing theory in my time is that nothing will happen. I, however, haven't met my past self. If you're really a time traveler, then who can prove it? Post time machine pics or GTFO. The many worlds interpretation. Whoa, slow down, bro. Research institution taking over the world. Well, what? I do not feel the need to prove that I am what I say. I am only posting these messages on a whim. My mission comes first. What are world lines? Can you meet yourself from another world line? What happens if you do? They replied, but a true code is a way to identify posters. Put pound password after your name. LOL, backed up. World lines are like an infinite number of rivers flowing in a parallel. Along the way, they are constantly branching out into new world lines. This is called divergence. For example, whether or not you post on this message board has practically no effect on the world line's divergence. But if you were murdered, let's say, then the divergence would change. However, it would only change by about 0.00002%, if that. A single human being's death is not terribly significant on a global scale. Wars, disasters, acts of terrorism, and other events that may cause widespread death and destruction have a much greater effect on divergence. Thanks for telling me about your report. I'll make sure to use one for now. I'm starting to get tired, so let's pick up again tomorrow. It's been fucking talking to everybody. Looks like they've already made an archive of these threads. Of course, there have been sites dedicated to John Tyler for years now. This post closely resembles what the original that I wrote 10 years ago. I've read one of the books on Tider, that's how I know. This new one is clearly an imposter. There are many Tider fanatics on the channel. He's not exactly a household name in Japan, but I doubt anyone would have fought for this level of troll. As I continue to read, however, I find a response to be the opposite of what I expected. Everyone is accepting this time traveler as if this were his first appearance. Nobody has even mentioned his appearance from 10 years ago. Finding this strange, I try posting a retort, but everyone ignores me. What the hell? You can figure this out if you do a little research, people. There's the original Dutch Bird Archive in English, and plenty of Tider blogs in Japanese. I entered John Tider's name into a search engine. 12 matches. Wait, only 12? Moreover, all 12 are about the current John Tider's postings on that channel. I can't find a single trace of the Tider from 10 years ago. Bizarre things just can't be. I searched for information on Tider a few years ago. Back then I got tens of thousands of hits. Is this search engine filtered? I tried searching on another site just to make sure, but it gives the same result. What is this madness? It feels like I've stumbled onto another plane of reality. Could this be another organization conspiracy? These past 2 days, I've been surrounded by nothing but chaos and confusion. I'll call Darwin. He'll know about Tider for sure. After all, I've talked to him about Tider before. I only vaguely remember the details of that conversation, but I'm positive the conversation happened. By the time I dig my phone out of my bag, I no longer feel like making the call. Instead, I sent him an email on the way back to the lab. He replies with his location. By May Queen, like means May Queen plus Neon Square, a maid cafe. There was a regular there. Apparently 3D cat maids are his thing too. May Queen Neon Squared is only 3-minute walk from the lab. Coming from Kurambabashi's Dori, take a left at Tsukuma Saka Crossing and you'll find it. That's where I'm headed now. It's usually busy in Nagoya during summer break, but now it's even busier because of the Radigan incident. The area was blocked off yesterday, but it doesn't look like they could keep the main road blocked off for 2 days straight. I haven't seen a single police officer today. But the Radigan building still seems off limits. The entrance shutters are closed shut and sealed with the yellow police tape.
謎の人工衛星墜落から一夜明けた秋葉原です。警察による規制は解除され、駅前にはものすごい数の人が集まっています。墜落した人工衛星がどこの国のものなのかについては現在も調査中とのことで、詳しいことが分かるまで撤去ができない状態です。警察の発表によりますと、爆発などの危険は今のところないということですが、秋葉原を訪れた買い物客や地元商店街の関係者からは不安の声が上がっています。
The media has dozens of cameras set up outside of the police line. And there are nearly twice as many onlookers as reporters, enough to fill the entire street with people. Everyone's aiming their phone cameras at the satellite-like object. So many people. Living in Akabe, you get used to crowds and big events, but a gathering of this size is unusual. I wonder when they'll get rid of that thing. I hope it doesn't explode or something. They've been letting people back into the area, so I guess there's no danger. Still, considering its unknown origin, I'm surprised there isn't more security. Today, like always, Lukako are shopping for doujinshi, imported games, electronics, or whatever strikes their fancy. Aside from the scene erotica, it's the same as any other day. But I still don't understand what I saw yesterday. I've half accepted that the mass disappearance was just my imagination. Maybe I've become unable to distinguish reality from fantasy, like the media likes to say about teenagers these days. With that thought in mind, I returned to gaze to my street. And there, in front of me, stands a woman holding her phone in front of her face. She took a picture. Her phone was clearly pointed at me. I tried to cover my face, but not quickly enough. I turned around just to make sure that she wasn't pointing it at someone behind me. But that doesn't seem to be the case. She's still staring at her phone. Without even glancing at me, she turns around and points her phone at some other pedestrian. Maybe she's just taking photos of everyone at the scene and not just me. But still, I need to have a word with her. The organization is after me, so I can't risk that photo getting out.
Wait!
She doesn't turn around. Is she so engrossed in her photography that she doesn't even notice me? Or does she not catch my magnificent native level English?
ちょっとそこで携帯カメラを使っているあなた待ってください
She turns back, finally noticing me. And of course, her phone turns with her.
よせ通るんじゃない
Hey,
まさか
okay.
機関の差し金か
She completely ignores my objection. And then, she goes back to looking at her phone.
質問に答えてもらいたいんですがねあなたは機関の人間か
If she is, then I may have to take suitable measures.
違うのか
You're not?
違うとしても問題がありますよ俺の写真を持っていると機関に知られればあなたにも奴らの魔の手が伸びるかもしれないとにかく今撮った俺の写真を即刻削除してほしい
Is she even listening?
謝る。
Well, she finally speaks. Just a whisper, but it's something.
迂回にさせたなら
She lowers her head, slightly in a bow. Or at least I think it's a bow. She's been looking down all this time, so I can't really tell.
謝るより先に写真を削除してほしいわけだが
風景撮ってた。
Her fingers dance across her phone keys with impressive speed, exactly the opposite of her annoyingly slow speech pattern.
風景を撮っていた観光客
Or is she one of the people who came to see the satellite? In that case, why did she take a picture of me? She shakes her head without looking at me.
証明。自分が今日どこを歩いたか。
変なやつだな
桐生萌えか。名前。
That's nice, but I just want her to delete that photo.
聞きたいことがある。いい？
それより写真を
都市伝説秋葉原の知らない？
An urban legend? What is she talking about? Don't tell me. There's a brilliant but insane mad scientist said to be lurking in Akihabara. And now, that brilliant but insane mad scientist is the target of every assassin in the underworld.
俺はこの町に長く居すぎたのかもしれん。だがそろそろ潮時か。
Akihabara, you were in such a bad town. I'm glad that
幻のレトロ PC。
レトロ PC？
she replies with a nod, or something like a nod.
秋葉原のどこかにあるらしくて、それが
そうか。
Nothing about a mad scientist. I'm relieved, but also disappointed. At any rate, this is the first time I heard about a phantom retro PC.
幻のレトロ PC というとキュッパチあたりか。
That's the first model that comes to mind. But are 98s really that hard to find? She shakes her head slightly, or something like a shake.
いいえ、これ
No, this. She turns her phone toward me. The screen shows an oddly shaped computer. It's hard to tell since the picture is monochrome, but it looks like some kind of PC. It looks like some kind of familiar.
IBM 5100。
An IBM 5100.
ジョン・タイターが手に入れようとした PC か。
The fingers twit, I think.
見たことは
You've seen one?
ない。名前を知ってるぐらいだ。
Coincidence? No.
これもシュタインズゲートの選択かもしれん。
詳しい人知らない？
ダルンならば詳しく知っているかもな。そいつは俺のマイフェイバリットライトアームであるスーパーハッカーでな。MI6 の中枢にすらハッキングできる実力の持ち主なのだ。
The MI6 part is a slight exaggeration. If that ever did happen, Men in Black would break down our door and take us away. But the super hacker part is true. The depth of his computer knowledge is uncanny. Speaking of Dara, I'm supposed to meet with him at Maid Queen Neon Square. I don't have to understand and chat with some crazy lady I don't know.
では俺は行く。女よ。メディアスクラムもほどほどにな。
I try to make a smooth exit. One liner and everything, but she grabs my sleeve before I can disappear into the crowd.
何をする？
メルアド教えて。
何が狙いだ？
スーパーハッカーの
I guess she wants to hear Daro's story. It's my fault for mentioning him. Well, I'm meeting up with Daro, so why don't I just take her along? No, wait a second. This could be a devious trap. Maybe she's really a spy sent to kidnap Daro. I'm defenseless without him. My only other ally is my Yuri, who skills him on costume design.
断る。今ダルを失うわけにはいかん。
slip past her and start walking faster. I glance back. She's following me. I pick up the pace. She's still chasing me.
俺の後ろを歩くな。
Unperturbed, she shows me her phone again. On the screen is a picture of me that she took.
ゲーまだ削除していなかったのか。
教えてくれたら削除する。
この俺を脅すとは。貴様、何者だ。
I attempt to glare her into submission, but her eyes are already lowered. My glares are ineffective.
私は
She hesitates for a second.
アークリライトのバイト。
なんだそれは。
ヘンプの秋葉原にある。
One of those companies that writes articles for magazines. Is this gloomy lady really fit for that kind of work?
貴様、俺の写真を無断で記事にするつもりだな。
Mad scientist of Akiba unveiled. I can see the headlines now. That's all the organization will need to turn Akiba into a sea of blood. No, I must avoid that gruesome outcome at all costs. I have no choice.
交換条件に乗ろう。
At any rate, as long as she has that photo, I have no way of knowing how it might be used. I pull up my email address and show it to her. Looking back and forth from my phone to hers, she enters my info with terrifying speed.
そうか。この女、能力者か。
I dub her power. Shining finger. Her magical thumb types cursed emails at 255 characters per minute. Whoever receives one dies. She's done typing my address. It took all of 5 seconds.
名前は
法院教マ。マッドサイエンティストだ。
どう書くの？
フェニックスの法王に陰、そして凶悪なる真実。
は？
フェニックスの法王に陰、そして凶悪なる真実だ。
I repeat my perfect explanation. This is the origin of my true name. Explaining the N part of Yonin would take too long, so I left it out. She enters my name with her hand tilted to the side.
こう？
なんだこれは、ふざけるな。俺のマナをバカにするつもりか。
She lowers her head a little more. An apologetic bow, I guess.
ならば携帯を貸せ。俺が入力してやる。
She shakes her head, clutching her phone with both hands after to protect it from me. Like a spoiled child who can't let go of a toy, she shields it from me with all her might. What does she think I'm going to do? Her reaction is a little depressing. Anyway, she's obviously not going to hand her phone over, so I ask her for an address instead. I'll send her a blank mail. She told me her name a few minutes ago, but I forgot it already, so I enter her name as Shining Finger. What am I doing standing here in the middle of the street? Let's hurry up and send her a blank mail. I don't need to type anything. It's just to give her my name. She frowns while looking down at her phone. And then she glances my way. I can feel those eyes clearly saying, hurry up. But I'm hesitant. Not sure if this is a good idea to give her my true name. But regardless of how long I hesitate, I don't think that she'll let me go until I send her the email. She sure is persistent. Feels like I have no choice but to send that email. We exchange a few words, and then I get away from her as fast as I can.
おかえりなさいませ、ご主人様。
I'm going to stop here. Hope you've had a good time.